can't do it, but keep it to a minimum. Go ahead.
Paul asks how be it in spirit you speak in mysteries.
Right.
That was literal.
That was
how
literal.
be it mean how is it? Like,
How is it?
How is it the spirit come to you and you speak in mysteries and don't nobody understand?
Nobody knows.
How is it that you are children in malice and in understanding being mean?
Right.
You can't do that.
You can't do it.
You just can't do that.
And see, and Paul is explaining it to us. In children, when we get angry, y'all, we have to be like children. Because children, when they fight with one another and you break it up, what they doing 10 minutes later? They playing. So y'all, we can never let the scripture get to the point that what we can't play together again. Because that's malice in your heart. Then what is that malice in there for? Because you won't take the advice that I'm giving you. So malice is in my heart now. And malice ain't for your heart. Malice is for the Most High because you're sinning against Him. Let's get some more of this. Come on, y'all. Let's close it out.
Okay, and I'd be remiss without what you just said is stipulated in James chapter 3,
What it say?
verse 14 and 15. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts,
Right.
glory not and lie not against the truth. This wisdom descended not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. And that James chapter 4, we were speaking on the world, James chapter 4, verse 4, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
Right.
Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
Now understand what this is saying. This all goes back. Can't be down with is atrocious.
No, it can't be done. No, it's not fellowship.
Can't coexist now.
Understand this. Understand this, y'all. A friend, understand this, y'all. When the Most High used the word friend, the Most High say a friend loveth at all times. If they're your friend. Most friends we have love you when the money's right.
It's called conditional love.
Conditional friends. These friends gonna be there when you at your lowest point, when you at your highest point. That's what a true friend is. So we got to understand why the Most High use friend all the time. So he's saying if you become friends with a partner that play games, like how do you make a deal with we becoming dope dealers? Well, according to that doctrine, the friend is yourself. It's business. Every man is for himself. Right. Try it and go to the penitentiary and see if you get commissary. See if you get money on your books. Right. You ain't. You forgot about it. That's not a friend, and we in the same business. So it was never friendship because you made a friend with the enemy of the world. You can't make friends with Satan. You can't play games with Satan. Satan requires full friendship. Y'all think Satan wants half of worship?
Friends with benefits.
No, Satan wants full worship. He's got a set of doctrine for full worship. So he's not going to be your friend under them circumstances. But the Most High says, you play games, you will be his friend for life, for eternal life, if you play with him the wrong way. So we want to get that understood, that when it's talking about being a friend of the world, and it's the same as fellowship. The Most High said don't be in fellowship with anybody. Fellowship means to come into allegiance with. So we can't join special organizations with somebody that believes of another doctrine. See, Freemasonry allow the Muslims to join their organization. Freemasonry allow the Jehovah's Witnesses to join. They allow Buddhists to join. You can't be in fellowship with that as allegiance. Can we hang out with a Muslim or talk to him? He got a store there? Yes, but the bottom line is Christ is the master of the universe, no matter what they got or what they doing, and they have to understand that that's what the light you will bring. It ain't no compromise. It ain't no compromising on that. But that's what we're talking about in fellowship. Fellowship don't mean hang with nobody. Fellowship, when you look at the word, it means to come in the assembly of, or to come in league with.
So no go ride.
No go ride. You can't be a part of this, y'all. But let's move on to the conscience sake. Let's get it, man.
But to have this scripture written down, that's Ephesians 5:11.
We just gonna talk about Ephesians 5:11. Go ahead, Mallory. 5 and 11. And 12.
5:11 and 12.
Get it in there to clear it up, y'all. We got to write down the second witnesses right now because we got to roll. What time is it now? 3:30. We got 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Let's get this right here, y'all. Let's get it out.
1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1.
1 Corinthians chapter 8. And y'all understand a lot of people, because Paul does this, they think that Paul is to flip the script and he gone wayward. Paul telling us to hang out with him.
He's saying for your conscience, you still got that 24/7
Look up conscience in that.
battle to see.
Conscience.
Yeah, Lord. Like if you eat or eat not, you still got to fight for this sin.
Right.
Lord. That's 1 Corinthians chapter 8. When you dealing with Paul, you're dealing with a scholar, a brother that was raised in the law of Aaron.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So when he got down with Christ, he saw the whole law spiritual.
Right.
Like the whole side of it in which we supposed to increase in it. Not, you know what I'm saying? Stuff
It was
that-
saying heavenly things.
Yeah. And they couldn't get with it. So sometimes when you read them, it's best that you read them all. Don't jump into this conversation in the middle of it.
Right.
You'll lose you. You gotta go back to the beginning and read that book. But then you go, oh, that's what he's talking about.
Right.
You feel me? Because he know what he's saying is going to have you asking questions.
Right.
Like, what that mean?
But that's why you have to remember when you read Paul, remember he talking to somebody.
Yeah, about a certain topic.
Exactly. You have to keep
Yeah.
that. You have to. I just read the book of Galatians the other day, and just have to remember when he's talking, he's saying you have done these things, you have done these things, but this is not what you have learned from the beginning.
Right.
You got to stay true to what you have learned. So if you keep that in context,
Right.
you stand. You the witness standing there watching him talk
Yeah,
to them people.
Right. You know what I'm saying? If not, you'll lose. If you jump in the
Right.
middle of
Right.
a Paul letter, boy, there was one line that suck and close the book.
Yep.
You be like, oh man, I can do whatever.
Right. Yep.
You gotta read it because you know what he said. This was over your head, so he'll be like, well, what shall we say then?
Right.
Shall we sin because we under grace? God forbid. You
Let's
better
get it,
not. All right, 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1. Now it's touching things offered unto idols. We know that we all have knowledge.
So right here, now touch and think something. Everybody got knowledge of what an idol is in here. We should. What is an idol? First of all, we know we can't bow down to no idol. Idols is anything made with a man's hand that say is worthy of worship.
Like
That's idol.
that opening Psalms we read, Psalm 96. The
Absolutely.
gods of the nations are idols. False gods.
So even a false god would be an idol because it's a nothing god. It ain't promising nothing. It has no order in it. The only book on planet Earth that has prophecy written before, present, and in the future is the Bible. Everything else is discipline. You know, it ain't nothing wrong with discipline, but it has no future for you. Go ahead.
Let me catch you real quick. You said anything that is made with hands that is worthy of worship, but you gotta also remember that that's what this American Idol stuff is about people that we idolize.
Well, it's made with men's hands.
Just like the person themselves become idols.
Right.
Man can be an idol.
But it's the commandments of men. They're saying we call you a star. We make you a star. And you have to understand it's through fornication because it's all with spiritual nakedness and sex. That's all it is. It ain't about your talent. They'll tell you in show business, 90% business and only 10% talent. We can find you Israelites on the street corner doing some of this.
Right.
You go up there to that playground on Page and Teller, you see youngsters up there leaping out the gym with short sag. And this street ball. Let's get some more.
That was pretty good.
Go ahead, y'all. Where we at, Matt?
Yeah, 1 Corinthians 8:1.
Go ahead.
Now, in touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifies.
Knowledge always gonna make you feel like I know more than somebody else.
Right.
But charity in 1 Corinthians 13 or 2 Corinthians 13 talks about what true charity is. If I give to the poor, but it's benefiting me on that end, I ain't giving to the poor.
Right.
It's a hustle game. I'm getting a kickback.
It's a tax write-off.
Right, it's a tax write-off. However that is, that is true love. So it goes into what true charity is, which is greater on the level, it's up there with faith. So we have to understand that. Read some more.
Verse 2. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing.
Right.
Yet as he ought to know. But if any man love God, the same is known of him.
See, if any man love God, which we come to the conclusion that love is the keeping of the commandment.
Right.
So if any man keeps the commandment, he knows God.
Right.
If you're not a commandment keeper, you
don't
can't know the God of this Bible.
Right.
So they teach that tomorrow.
Right.
His commandments are done away with. How can you know God at that point?
And even if they're not teaching that, their walk indicates something different than what they saying out their mouth.
Absolutely.
Like if you got an altar to another God in your house and you saying, I love the Lord and he heard my cry.
Right.
I don't understand.
How you let that lie? How does preachers let Farrakhan come in and stand on the same stage? He
Yeah, I
says Christ
understand
is
that.
nothing more than a prophet,
Yeah.
a philosopher.
I understand
You
that.
say he's the savior of the world, but yet y'all holding hands up like champions.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. How you gonna have trunk or treat?
Right.
How you have trunk or treat?
That's what we're talking about. Let's keep it moving. We're going to get to all of that. Let's keep it moving, y'all. We got 2 minutes and some seconds.
Verse 4.
That was 2 minutes, seconds ago.
Go ahead, bro. We're going to get it out, y'all. We just got to get this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, y'all.
Verse 4. As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and that there is none other God but one.
If idols is gods, if idols is things made to gods, whether you make up a God in your mind or not, whatever it is, it's nothing in the world. It means as it's vain. The Most High saying it's nothing. It's purely nothing. I don't care what they talk about this God over there and what he's done for me. That's a nothing God. It has no future for you. Because those in control is still in control. As a Muslim, what's our eternal existence from here? Well, when we get it right, one day it'll change. How long can that be? Is there a time period? See, ours is told when this kingdom is set up, these kingdoms have already come to pass. You can check his record.
Right.
When this final one's set up, which is being set up, then you're going to know this is the time.
Yep.
But their doctrine is just keep standing up tall, and one day, maybe a billion years, because their doctrine is based on that foolishness. The Muslim Nation of Islam talk about some dude named Fraud Muhammad and some tribe of Shabazz 13 million years ago. That's an endless genealogy. So there's another 13 million years have to pass before we get there. There's no ending to the matter. Christ says, I'm the Alpha and the Omega, not Muhammad. He's the beginning and the end. So he said, oh, excuse me, I made a mistake. I'm the Alpha. Muhammad is the Omega. No, we ain't read that. Let's get some more of this.
Verse 5. For though there be that are called God, whether in heaven or in earth, and there be gods many and lords many, but to us there is but one God.
We don't care because they call him God. It's still one to us. I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Don't care about what he's doing. Once they convince you that he's equal with Christ, then you peep at their gifts. He gave you that. Well, my Lord said he gonna give it too. He gave you that. Once you give it reverence, ain't no turning back at that point. You have to cut it off. I don't care about that.
But this right here is that where the Muslims, they call their God Allah, they say he's the same one.
Right.
And we know he ain't.
But we know it ain't because it says that there's a different Alpha and Omega. Somebody's lying.
Well, they also call themselves God.
It don't matter. Somebody's lying.
Verse 5. There be many.
That's good. Verse 6.
Verse 6. But to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Jesus Christ, by whom are all things, and we by him. Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge.
It's not in every man that understands.
How is it?
Let's get it.
For some with conscience of the idol until this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled.
Give me that definition of conscience, y'all. We're going to get out of here, y'all. We ain't got but long to go. Just this script and one more.
The definition of conscience.
Okay.
Conscience.
Go ahead, bro.
The sense or consciousness of the moral goodness or blameworthiness of one's own conduct,
See,
intentions, or character,
y'all see that?
together with the feeling of obligation to do right or wrong.
Now understand that whole scandal at Penn State is about conscience. You saw this man raping a boy, you run out. Should your conscience have stopped it? See, it don't matter that you went and told somebody or you broke it up. The fact that you What you broke up, you still left there. You still left an 8-year-old boy with a grown man and both of them still naked. Even though you say, hey, what the hell going on in here? That may stop it.
You're supposed to read the wicked.
But you want to know what took place after you run off.
If you turn your face to it, you'll partake in the deeds too.
And
Now
this
you're
is what...
bringing it out, now you're trying to bring light on yourself. See?
Well, what you're doing is for conscience sake, you say I did enough, but you know for goodness sake you have not done enough. You left a young child in the hands of a, well, he's not a pedophile, there's a different term for Sandusky group. He's a pederast, P-E-D-E-R-A-S-T. They're different from a pedophile. Pedophile loves young boys and young girls. A pederast is a lover of young boys with especially anal intercourse. You have to understand though how their mindset is looking at it. They're looking at it, I'm not a pedophile. I'm a pederast. It's an organization. It's like some people say we don't worship the devil, we worship Lucifer. He's not the boogeyman. He's a total different God. He's not that boogeyman with horns. We worship Lucifer. Look what we got. That man with horns only tell you dwell with him in fire. We're not about that. We're talking about Lucifer. So y'all have to understand when they have their mindset Sandusky, look, this is an organization. I whore little boys out, as Joel 3rd chapter say, we make a boy a harlot. This is what they are. They say we're part of this group. Don't put me in that group.
It's just a play on words.
It's a play on words. Same thing. But you have to understand their mindset to deal with the sin of that culture. You have to understand that we have to understand all things and can't pass false doctrine on nobody who it don't belong to. That sin is what that sin is. What happened in the garden is what happened in the garden. Adam didn't eat from Satan. Adam ate from Eve. Eve ate from Satan. That's why the punishments are different. You can't label a man with something that ain't on him. That ain't his jacket. He tell you what my jacket is. I'm a pederast.
And the scripture is still solid.
It's still solid.
Verse 8. Verse 8. But meat commendeth us not.
Now, y'all.
Verse 8. But meat commended us not to God. For neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse.
You ain't never got to eat pork no more in your life. That ain't guaranteeing you the kingdom over this person. All I mean is you're obedient to the law. But the bottom line is you ain't been tested on that yet. Like I say, all the quick questions come up, do you eat fast food? Y'all know what they dipping it in. Hell, half us work at fast food. We know what they putting on the stove and in the ingredients. Not only that, but you're cooking the blood back up in the meat. No blood in our diet. Flat grills cook blood back up into the meat as well as the fat, as well as the impurities. That's why at least get a George Foreman grill. All the impurities fall in the plate. You look at what get cooked back up in the flat grill, and you say, I don't eat pork, and you go in that restaurant, give me the big burger with extra cheese. And then the next person come in, give me the big burger with extra cheese and double up on the bacon, 4 slices. And they sizzling both there together. See, in one breath, and then you have to understand, you can't just left your people's house and told them, I'm not going to eat off your grill, off your table today because it's sacrificed to idol. And then you go to the place that's doing the same thing and you pay for it. You could eat that free. So y'all, we don't want to get caught up in the consciousness of trying to have to now explain why I'm here eating in a place that cooks swine on the same grill daily. And I left a place and just condemned it that they got no swine on the menu. Yeah, it's a bad holiday, and we looking at it, it's got pagan roots all tied into it. It's clear as a baby. Y'all see brothers Hebrews section on down on St. Louis Israelites on YouTube breaking it down to the level, y'all. But there has to be a line we can't cross because we in it. If you ain't doing this part of it, and you love to like something else about it, you doing that part. So you got to make sure this finger come back like this. We got to understand. Let's read on some more. We getting out of here after this, y'all. One more script. Go ahead.
Verse 9. But take heed,
right,
lest by any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak.
If you keep telling somebody, look, you're pork eater, I'm sick of it. Mama, I done told you. Mama, you must want to go to the lake of fire. What is wrong with you? Them hogs and them chitterlings is hell-bound. How you gonna do that and you eat fast food? You can't.
You can't. Hast thou faith, have it to thyself before God.
So we got to understand that from that point, because not eating it is not guaranteeing the kingdom. If that was the case, Paul wouldn't even be explaining Galatians 3:21. If there had been a law of them 6:13 into righteousness, there would be no need for Christ to come. But it ain't none that we can do to get us in the kingdom. It prepares us for Christ's kingdom, which the law don't exist because there's no sinning in this kingdom. So what you need the law for?
It'll be on your heart.
It'll be on your heart. So it's only righteousness continually. Ain't no sinning. You ain't thinking about sinning in this kingdom because you can't get in with that thought process.
Right.
Let's get some more.
But not only that, we've been talking about the conscience the whole time in this chapter. So he let you know in that verse 8, if you eat, you ain't no better off than if you didn't eat.
Right.
Because you got a conscience you bang with 24/7.
That's right.
Like the battle with sin, regardless of this pagan origin date right here. You feel me? You got sin to bang with tomorrow, the day after, day after.
Right.
Just
You got
because
special on
you didn't go partake, don't mean you in the clear.
Right.
You ain't in the clear, you still banging out here.
Right.
So he's not saying go eat.
Right.
You feel me? But he's saying be conscious about what we doing.
That's right. Absolutely. And conscious, y'all have to be conscious of our situation. Where was Christ all the time? What was Christ jacked? He eat where?
The Pharisees.
Among sinners and the Pharisees. He drinks among them. He said a well man don't mean the doctor. Y'all, if we hung around each other all the time and didn't do certain things, guess what's going to happen? Guess who's going to get the blame next? We're going to start blaming each other. You ain't doing right. Why disciples eat without washing hands? What is written in the scripture? We're going to start making up our own commandments. Yo, so we got to stay among the sick because we still a little bit sick ourselves. And we give them the healing medicine. Now, this is not saying just go over there and partake or whatever. If you go over there to see your mother every other day like this, why is day 5, which is Thursday, stopping you from this day? You're telling me this sin is so high that comes once a year that you overlook the sins that she do every day of the year and you go see it.
It's a holistic picture.
Understanding that, understanding all that, but what the holistic is every day, all 7 days. If they eating it on Monday, but they eat more on Thursday because they say it's prepared to a God, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. How do you decide when I'm not going to visit sin?
Every man got a conscience level. There's lines you can't cross.
Let's get it
Be
right.
around them, not even partake it.
That's right.
But see, most of our people know, like, oh, here he comes with this Bible again. Baby, yeah, don't even come on over here. Just wait till
And see, understand this. If they feel that way, it was not delivered to them with meekness. It was delivered to them in wrath.
Oh, it depends.
It all depends. Look, but this the deal. This the deal. If they are kicking against it, the bottom line comes back to conscience again. Why are you there?
Shouldn't even be there.
That's the bottom line. So if you say they still and you still going there, you cannot be there no more because Paul gets into it. He said, I'm going to tell you, unless they say it's sacrifice to idols, you can't pull yourself away and saying like this is the reason why, because they say the markets are controlled by everybody but Israelites. So our market is controlled by who? Do you think it ain't pig meat hanging by the lamb we go by?
And it is.
Do we go in there and say, how long has it been laying there, sir?
No.
Right, we don't right.
And it's cut with the same blade. Let's not play games with ourselves. Let's move on, y'all.
Verse 10. For if any man see thee, which has knowledge, sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols?
This is what we're saying here. If you eat fast food and just told him don't eat no swine, and he see you at Steak and Shake with meat cooking there that's unclean on the same grill you just told him, is that a stumbling block? If you haven't explained that the kingdom is not about meats and drinks. If you haven't explained to him, if you're saying, look, there's going to be occasion.
That don't mean eat swine.
That don't mean eat swine. But what we're talking about, if you haven't expressed to him that we don't control it, we don't run the FDA, it can say 100% pork, but we have to trust.
You're not making a conscious decision to eat that.
Right. It's what they say it is. They say it's 100% beef.
It's in your heart. And
Understand it.
And people still, even if you bring like a perfect example, like my mom, them, last year I went, but they already knew what I was on.
Right.
I fellowship with them, they already knew what I was on. But this year I was like, no, she can't go because this, that, and the third. But anyway, it's like people gonna get offended regardless.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you say you don't eat pork, they gonna try to figure out a way to say that they need to eat pork. It ain't like that.
Well, it's understood. We understand that that's still called weak in the faith.
Yeah, that's
the
weak in the
scriptures
faith.
dealing with it. Ain't nothing that happened to no man that ain't happened no more. They weak.
Yeah.
It's the bottom line. Some of us held on to bacon for a little while.
But not doubtful disputation.
But not doubtful disputation. That's where the key at. Once they continue doubtful, you got to keep the dust from your feet. That don't mean you can't go around them because you go to work every day
Right.
to the same group of people.
Right.
And you're receiving their money
Right.
for their labor, but you're still around them every day.
Don't talk to me, you eat bacon.
Right. Come on, y'all, let's finish this out. Go ahead, what you got?
You got people that play around. They've been through some pork in your food.
Well, if they do that, damnation happens to them.
It's the intent, though. It's the intent that you, the Most High, know that your intentions was not to eat pork.
That's why I say it's not what goes in you, because it'll be purged in the drought. It's gonna make a turd. No matter what you eat, it's gonna make a turd.
Right.
Let's get smart.
Just real quick, while we on that subject, y'all.
Hold it down, y'all. We about to get out of here. Hold it down, y'all.
Be aware that, like, if you go to Aldi's and get those Salisbury steaks, that you think they feed Salisbury steaks, they made out swine.
They made out of it,
Yes.
and it says
It
beef.
says pork, beef, and chicken.
But it has to say that on the
But it
pack.
say pork, beef, and chicken, though. It says
Well, see, it's on the pack, y'all. It's without dispute. Look. Now understand this, if you do your parents like that, you gotta do the marketplace like that. If they serve it unclean, if they got idols in there, you can't go shopping on Thanksgiving Day either. Because their shop is set up. You can't go to work on Thanksgiving Day either if that's the standard bearer for your parents. Because this is involved with you, I'm not coming over. Well, you can't go to the store.
Yeah.
You can't go get gas.
Right.
You can't go do none of this on that day. And what you end up doing, giving power of the fifth day to an idol.
You in the house high.
You in the house high.
Looking out your block.
And people that foosball, turkey day ball. This is games or sacrifice to this day.
Yeah.
You cannot go over mama's house and sipping beer and slapping high fives and watching Samo Soup stomp out somebody laughing and hollering. See y'all, because you have the right to turn off the TV or change the channel. We can't break it down to it's sports because we know what happened in the Roman Coliseum with all sports.
Yeah.
If you say this is the root of Thanksgiving, then this is the root of football. And they're tied together in the same root. How then do you eat part root and let the other root go?
Right.
You got to be fair across the board to your own consciousness. Because only God knows what you're thinking and how you're breaking this down in your mind. Or you doing it to offend him because you ain't working and they say, well, nigga, all that Bible reading, when you gonna get a job? And you look up and say, Thanksgiving coming. I'm gonna get y'all. I'm gonna get you. You shame in front of Betsy. I'm asking you for show money. Let's get it, y'all. We got about 2 seconds. Go ahead. Right, let's get it, y'all. Come on. In front of Betsy. Right. Go ahead.
I'm gonna read that verse 10 again.
Come on, y'all. We gotta get it, y'all. We getting out of here. Hold it down, y'all. Come on. 1 Corinthians 8 and 10.
Verse 10. For if any man see thee, which has knowledge, sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him.
Hold it down, y'all. Who's that talking over there like that?
Shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols? And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Christ died. But when ye sin so against the brethren, and wound their weak conscience, ye sin against Christ.
So we got to be careful on how we telling them what not to do and what not to drink. We got to make sure it's from a conscious sake of how you deal with yourself. Because Christ said, I'm going to measure you the same way. I'm going to measure you exactly the way you give it into them. That's how I'm going to measure you.
That don't mean not to reproof them.
It don't reproof and conscious state is two different things. There's nothing wrong with telling them, look, there's pagan roots tied to this. Look at this from right here. Once you give it to them like that, they know where you stand, you know where they stand. If you've been into the feast, if you're there, then you've already said it. You can't be there drink and eat, and then go crazy at the end after you bench.
Right.
You did with everybody. It's finished.
Yeah, I know I ate your dressing and your turkey, but I didn't eat your ham, which is forbidden of the Most High. Excuse me,
You didn't meet her. You didn't meet her either.
Let's get some more, y'all.